Hello, I'm Mrs. Charity. Welcome to the Glorious Heritage Overview of Catholic Church History. Discover the amazing story of the Church together as a family as you color and paste your way through the timeline and printables, which you can find on our website. And now let's move into our topic for today.
Hello, I'm Mr. Charity. Welcome to the Glorious Heritage Catholic History video series. Today's topic is number 5. The Ancient Roman World. If you look on your timeline and summary question sheets, you'll notice that we are still in the white time period, which we have named Foundation. If you don't have a timeline or summary question sheets, you can find them on our website. Today, I want to tell you 3 things about the ancient Roman world. First, I want to tell you about how big and powerful it was. Then I want to explain why the Catholic Church grew so well and so quickly in the ancient Roman Empire. And thirdly, I want to explain about the Roman Emperor. The Roman Empire ruled over most of the ancient world when our Lord was born, and when the early church was established by St. Peter, St. Paul, and the Apostles. The Romans ruled over many different peoples and religions around the Mediterranean Sea, making laws and collecting taxes. But the Roman Empire did not start out so big. About 700 years before our Lord was born, Rome was just a small little city. But over the centuries, it grew and grew, conquering more and more lands with its powerful army. As a result, Rome became very rich and powerful. When Rome conquered new lands, they always took gold and money and food and other things and sent them back to the city of Rome, which made many Romans very rich. Anyone who wanted to be rich and important in the ancient Roman world usually had to live in the city of Rome, or at least travel there sometimes. That is why St. Peter, the first pope, went to Rome. It was the most important city in the ancient world. The Romans even had a saying. They said that all roads lead to Rome. They meant that whatever you did or wherever you went, you would eventually end up in Rome. And they were right about that. The Catholic Church ended up in Rome. But Rome also had many problems, and there were a lot of evil things in Rome. The Romans worshipped many false gods like Jupiter and Saturn, Neptune, Mars, and Venus. Do those names sound familiar to you? They are also the names of the planets in our solar system. And as the Roman Empire expanded and grew bigger, it adopted the religions of the places that it conquered. So in the time of the early church, Rome was full of false religions from all over the ancient world. Rome let all those false religions into their own city. It didn't mind, except that Rome wanted everyone, no matter what religion they practiced, to also show their loyalty to the Roman Empire. Sometimes the Roman emperors even wanted people to worship them also. Okay, so now let's talk about the second point, and that is how the Catholic Church grew so well in the Roman Empire. After Pentecost, the apostles spread out across the whole ancient world. But it was in that big, powerful, and mixed up Roman Empire that the early church took hold and began to grow quickly. Why do you think the church grew so fast in the Roman Empire? One reason was the famous Roman roads. The Romans built a large network of roads throughout their whole empire, making it very easy and cheap to travel. This helped the apostles to spread the gospel. Another reason why was the corruption and the shallowness of Romans. Those rich Romans only wanted to live a life full of pleasure. And there were also many slaves and poor people in Rome. Those rich Romans were amazed by the message of the apostles, which was the exact opposite of how they lived. Many of the rich Romans realized that their life of pleasure was making them unhappy, and they found true joy in giving their life to Christ. The slaves and the poor Romans were also amazed by the message of the apostles. They learned that their suffering had meaning when united to the cross of Christ. They also loved that our Lord himself came as a poor and suffering man and was like them. They learned to be humble in their sufferings like our Lord was. The third thing that I want to mention is how Rome was governed. And this mattered a lot to the early Christians, as you will see in a future video about Emperor Nero. Rome started out as something called a republic. A republic was not ruled by one man, but instead by many men at the same time. However, as Rome grew more rich and powerful, its republic went away, and instead, it was ruled by just one man, who was called an emperor. The Roman emperors had a lot of power, and many times they used it to do evil and horrible things. The Romans wanted others to worship the emperor because the emperor symbolized the power of Rome. The Romans worshipped their emperor as a god, because that meant that the Romans were more important than anyone else. We'll talk about emperors later, but for now, Mrs. Charity wants to tell you more about the Roman roads.
You may recall that Mr. Charity told us that all roads lead to Rome. This was a way of saying that Rome was the center of the ancient world. They even marked their roads with stone pillars to show how far Rome was from different places in their empire. Every mile, they placed a pillar with a number on it. The number indicated how many miles that spot was from Rome. And in Rome, they had a special golden pillar. Do you know what number it had on it? It had 0, because it was in Rome itself. That special pillar was 0 miles from Rome. The Romans really did believe that their city was the most important, and they really did believe that all roads led to Rome.
Now, I have a story to tell you about how Rome got its name. According to a legend, the city of Rome was founded by 2 twin brothers, Romulus and Remus. They wanted to build their own city and become powerful rulers. They gathered some men to follow them, and they searched for a spot to build their new city, somewhere close to the Tiber River. There were 7 hills near the river, and the brothers disagreed upon which hill to build. Remus wanted to build on a hill called the Aventine Hill, and Romulus wanted to build on a hill called the Palatine Hill. They fought each other so much, they started to get very angry with each other. Do you remember the story of Cain and Abel from the Bible? Do you remember that Cain killed his brother Abel? Well, this is exactly what happened to Romulus and Remus. Romulus killed his brother Remus. That is why the city of Rome is named the way it is. Rome is named after Romulus. If it would have been the other way around, perhaps the city would have been called Rheims instead of Rome, named after Remus instead of Romulus. What do you think? So today, we learned that at the time of the apostles, the Roman Empire was the biggest, most powerful empire in the ancient world. We also learned that the Catholic Church grew very well inside the Roman Empire for many different reasons. And then we also learned that the Roman emperor had a lot of power, which he often used very badly. Make sure to join us for our next video, which is about the evil Emperor Nero and how he decided to kill and persecute Christians. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today. Visit our website www.gloriousheritagecartoons.com, where you can find more educational supplements, cartoons, books, and printables. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to get notified of our latest updates and videos. And if you like our work and want to support us, you can make a donation on our website or on Patreon. We really appreciate your generosity and kindness. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.